educate our clients so that they understand what we're doing, so that they don't give us that blind trust. And that falls back into that collaboration, right? When they give you the blind trust, they're stepping back, letting you do it.
Right.
You know, all these different ways of encouraging the collaboration. Right. And it's really ironic to me that as professionals, all those ways come from the fact of saying, don't treat me like I'm the expert, treat me like I'm a peer, you know, like I'm one of your board members, you're the CEO and I'm the CFO kind of thing.
But I think you're right that they're more dependent on people rather than their dependencies, rather than collaboratively working with people. It's okay to work that way. You know, all of us are not, we don't feel that we're doing a good job or that, you know, there's more value to us just because we can share people and show them how we know so much, you know, that, oh, I'm so knowledgeable. But we do it because we can help people with the knowledge that we have. We're sharing what we have to help their lives, their businesses be better. Just for me, it's just a different approach. How
a friend of mine summarized one of my rants a couple of weeks ago was, was like, okay, so what you're saying is you could like be the superhero and save the day, or you could give them the power. And I was like, yes, exactly. You know, it gets heavy to be the superhero. You know, some of us ladies have done it in our marriage. I know I have.
Right. And that's what, here's Jamie's going to talk. But I was going to say, that's kind of what Jamie's business does. It helps them, you know, say, let us help you first because we're the experts. But then let's transition to where now you're your own expert.
Exactly. I know that's what I was going to say. Is we do is always identified as it's the teach a man to fish version of it. And in our specific industry, I mean, we actually unfortunately have an example. Dun & Bradstreet is the most common credit bureau for businesses, and they were actually just part of a lawsuit because they had a do it for you model, but it was a pay to play. So they would bring you in, you pay a monthly fee, and as long as you were paying, they would bolster your credit score. As soon as you stopped, your score would start going down again. But they only did Dun & Bradstreet. They didn't touch the other three bureaus. So if you go into a bank and they pull somebody, you know, they pull Equifax business or they pull Experian business, everything that you've done was for naught. You know, so we get you to the point of Bankable. Then we teach you how to do it yourself. It really is a lather, rinse, repeat process. You know, once you know how to do it, just keep doing it. And I always tell my clients, I said, you've got, even if your business is only 5 years old, the vendors and lenders you're working with today are not those that you were working with 5 years ago. People go out of business, new materials come on board, better pricing, whatever. You're changing all the time. So we can get you to the perfect score, but then you drop a vendor and add a new one, and you're going to start going down if you don't know how to continue the process with the new vendors that you're bringing into your business. So that's how we teach it. So you work with us for a year, and you should be able to maintain it the lifetime of your EIN.
So it really needs to become like a cape in a business.
Exactly.
Another thing I thought I understood from you is some of those the quick fix companies is like almost instant results, whereas you believe more in that organic, sustainable growth, that it takes a little bit longer, but it sticks, it stays, it has long-term effects.
Exactly. And even in the longer, it's usually 4 to 6 months, unless a business has legal or tax issues that they're dealing with, which obviously are things that we can kind of help navigate through, but we don't have any control over. We can usually get you to the point of Bankable in 4 to 6 months. And then we spend the remaining 6 months teaching you the muscle memory of the process so that you can maintain it moving forward. So and then it goes the lifetime of the EIN. So if you sell your business as a complete entity and EIN and everything, it transfers with it. Now, if you break it off and sell assets, then obviously that doesn't work. But, you know, if you sell the EIN, it continues forward. So it gets you automated. It gets you so you're getting credit for the good behavior you're already doing. And it's astounding how many people have no idea, have never looked at their corporate credit, have no idea they assume, oh, I have good credit. I'm doing the same thing for my business. It's all good. I just looked at somebody the other day that he came on the call so arrogant and so basically I ended up learning he's a trust fund baby. His dad passed away at 64. So he was like in his 30s and took over all 4 of Dad's businesses and is just completely arrogant and talking about how, my signature on a personal guarantee is, so valuable, blah, 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 blah. His credit score was the worst I've ever seen. And he had 97% of his payments are late. On average, he's paying all of his bills at 48 days or longer, and this was big companies. So this was like millions of dollars in outstanding debt, but so I ended up sending back to him. I was like, I'll follow up with the information. I ended up sending back to him, you know what, after our conversation, I don't think we're a good culture fit. I wish you the best. He had 5 businesses. I mean, he could have been a very good money client, but if he can't even have an open conversation with me,
right?
I asked him what his annual overhead was. He goes, now you're getting into information my wife doesn't even know. I'm like, overhead is not proprietary. That's the cost of doing business. There's no reason for that to be top secret, so not only are you a poor businessman, you're a shoddy husband, most likely too. I feel sorry for your wife as well.